What's up, guys? It's T here, and welcome to SFM Tutorials, the basics. So, basically, when you open SFM, you'll be greeted with two tabs. One, which is the thing that we'll be using later, and this little tab. I don't really change anything. You may need to change around the frame rate if you're trying to actually do animations, like for videos and stuff. But other than that, basically you just have, if you're making a poster, just put in a name. Let's call this SFM1. And then you click create, and then that'll disappear, and then this will pop up. No map loaded. If you want to load in a map, you right click on that, you go down to load map, and I always use TF. You can use any other maps, but if you're looking for any good TF2 map for your posters, just go to TF, and it should be right here. So let's go for 2 Fort. You click on the map that you want, and it'll be highlighted because it'll be orange, and then you could either just press open or double click on it, and then it'll load. It usually takes around 10 minutes to load, or 5, depending on how good your computer is, but I will get back to you guys when it's loaded. Okay, it just loaded. So basically what you want to do, excuse the bad frame rate because I never change it, it's always on 24. So what you want to do is, if you want to move around, you just click on this big picture right here, and basically just use WASD, control, and move around for like a really slow aspect. And if you want to go really fast, I do not recommend this unless you're trying to travel on a really big map. Then you press shift and you go super fast. If you want to change cameras, this will be my work camera, and down here, if you want to add a new camera, then you need to, you go to this tab, and then you go to change scene camera, and then you just go new camera, and then that'll create camera 1, which you really only need one camera for this. And this will just be my work camera. I'll leave it there, and then change camera 1 all the way down here and go to where I want to set up. Okay, so now that I got this set up, I will move my work camera over to the scene, or the poster, and get started with this. If you want, how you add a new model is you right click in this space over here and go to create animation set for new model, and then you pick one. If you want to go for any TF2 character, go to TF movies, and let's just load in a heavy, and then it will be right here. Right here is the heavy, and right here it usually spawns on. Then the camera, you can change this option where it spawns where you tell it, but I really don't want to have to go into basics with that, but you can. So if you want to move this person, if you want to move this player model, or this model, you click on it and you go to this section, and it'll show all these joints that you could move and pose and mess around with. You go to this part right here to move up, down, left, right, forward, back. This is basically the same thing, just a little advanced. So let's set him down on the floor right here. Make sure he's actually on the ground, unless you like to do some camera tricks with your posters where it seems like they're doing something but they're really like not, where it looks like they're close to somebody but they're really like far away from them. So while we get ready for this, here's some more basics on the movement. If you go to the next spot over to the movement, you will go to globe rotate, and that basically just lets you move around. Blue is like tilt. The outer ring is just up and down. Red is, if he's like left and right, is red. And yeah, that's really all about that. Okay, so this part is basically the same thing, but a better range. And if you control, you can do a lot of the joints, like the arms, the legs. Let's just do the lower arm. And then this is basically the same controls, like you get tilted up, you get tilted out, in, you can rotate it, and that basically deals with any other joint. There are a lot of joints you could work with. So now let's get to what I'm trying to do. If you want to make this heavy or this player model have a certain thing, you could really just add a Team Fortress 2 item, basically. So I will put in my human cannonball, because that is basically my signature hat. And right now, you could change the skin or the body groups of the heavy. Either he has either he has that. I have no clue what that is because I never really mess with this stuff. But you could change the skin, whether he's red, blue, ubercharged red. You can make him ubercharged blue. You could make him all bloody, and you could make him just, I don't know what this is, honestly. Well, let's just go regular. You could also change the color of the hats, whether it be red, blue. So if you want to add an animation, you go to import sequence, and then there's a bunch of options to choose from, and you kind of just gotta go with random, because here's what we will be going for right here: him eating a sandwich. You don't have to do the animation, but it's a lot easier if you're trying to make him hold a certain thing. For example, basically, the Team Fortress 2 items is like all the weapons, whether it be festivalized, skinned, all of that jazz. So let's just, what we're going for, sandwich. The sandwich. And then there it is, him holding it. The only body groups there are is whether it has a bite in it or not. So let's just go to the face posing part of the procedure. Let's move this in a little bit. The face posing is pretty straightforward. You're just posing the model's face. And sometimes you can mess around with it, and it's really fun. Whether there are a lot of presets for it, like if you go to emotion, pain big, there's a lot of presets where you could just make it. Here, let's just go action fire, because that's funny, and it's just a regular preset that moves all the facial features that makes that. So you can make him happy big. And then basically, for that, we need to move the eyes. We can make his eyes up, down, left, right. Okay, now that we have that, we can add a light, which is in the same right-click area, but it's right here. And it starts off really, really bright, so you can turn the intensity high, low, whatever you need. And you could also pose this like any other model. You don't really have to pose this, but it is very recommended. So let's make it hovering over the sandwich like it's godsend, because the sandwich really is a godsend. because you could do so much with the sandwich. Okay, so you could change the field of view, which is how far it goes and how like wide the range of the light is if you want it in a certain area. Okay, so now that we have that, let's move the camera around a little and get the full perspective of this. You could also disable shadows and stuff. So now that we got this poster, it's really done because I don't know what else to do with this. Okay, so now that you're done with this, if you want to have this where you could upload it to the Steam artwork, you go to Export. You go to File, and then you go to Export. And then you go to Poster. And then you save the changes. And then you want to make it where you could easily put this in an output file that you could easily find. Let's name it as 1, like we did at the beginning. And now you click export when you choose the file that you want, and then it'll analyze it, which shouldn't take long. Okay, so once it exports, you don't really have to do anything else. So this has been T, and I will see you guys in the next one. Peace.